activity 1 and to pass the activity 2. Our colleagues in Italian, Carlotta and Francesca, showed different good practices about or no the difference in innovative practice in cloud education. You remember now. What do you mean by innovative practice? Do you know an example of innovative practice in cloud education? What will be the most relevant aspect to promote innovative practice with cloud education? Put some ideas in another faucet. Wall, sentences, maybe.
Just to write it down?
No?
They are read it.
Just put it
Or read it.
Oh, really? That is well. That's good. Just give us.
Okay. See, okay, what do we mean by innovative practices? The practices that are already in use and can be seen under a different light, or new resources that we can use? That's my answer. Do you know any example of innovative practices in cloud education? My answer is check the handbook, the one I presented yesterday. Handbook, everything is there. So I'm not going to repeat it again, but the things that I presented yesterday is what I know so far. What would be the most relevant aspect to promote innovative practices with cloud education? Show the existing best practices and involve the people that are already using it, that were precursor of such practices, in order to promote it better with tangible results. So we need people to speak about it to convince the others. ¿Está bien, Sandra?
Perfect, thank you very much. It's very good. Another? Thank you.
It's not in the correct order, let's say, but for me, innovative practice is anything new, a topic, a project, a method in the classroom. As an example, we have flipped classroom, we have modern physics and different projects outside of the curriculum, of the standard curriculum. And the most relevant aspect might be technology-driven learning plans, like blogs and e-me, things like photography, we saw yesterday.
Okay, nice. Thank you, Harry.
Example of maybe innovative, I put on top VR, virtual reality, as an example of an environment that you can experience and see, that you can explore and discover, of which you can learn and acquire new things, and that you should share with others. VR. You know VR, of course, everyone knows it. But who has a glass? Who has a VR glass?
But I had a VR experience on Friday.
Sorry?
Yeah, I had a VR experience on Friday.
On Friday?
We went on a blue lab with this.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Another? This? This one. Oh.
Innovative practices would be practices that use something that hasn't been there before, using new methodology or technology, as you said, to improve learning, not to make more content and more things to learn, but to improve the learning that needs to be done. When I was thinking about an example of innovative practices, I was not sure if we were talking about education using the cloud or education about the cloud. So if it was the first, I have plenty of examples where I and colleagues in different projects were using cloud tools, because it's just it facilitates
facilitates learning and sharing and collaboration. So there's plenty of examples also in geographical learning, if you want to say so. What are the most relevant aspects? I would say, as we said yesterday, it's about objectivity, it's about cooperation, also reflection, how do I think, how do others think, finding your own point of view, your own standing. It's also about critical thinking, which I think is the most valuable thing we can teach our students.
Okay. Something that really is quite interesting. Just listen to a song that really is talking about a tree or something like that, and just start thinking about sustainability, about the environment. So the example that we have to do is just what action should we take in order to sustain the environment? And then I suppose the cloud education can help us in order to collect data for promoting the idea of sustainability of the environment. Thank you.
It's okay. You like?
Of course, I'm ready. Just came from a lesson, so I've got ideas. What is innovative practice for me? For me, it's everything that has to do with improvement of student engagement. So it's also a change in older methods, as you have said, to something new, something that they like. Also, it's something that improves their future skills. And this is what we do with cloud education and the things that you have done with CE. I think it's really important. An example of innovative practice, Skype in the classroom. And we use it a lot because Skype opens windows and has got what we talk about, cultural connection. And it's really important because I believe that in that way all those cultural differences and ideas are mingled and everybody understands that we are, I believe, a global village. And finally, the most relevant aspects to promote innovative practices: flexibility, as we said before, sharing. I remember that from Elena from the very first days, because sharing is caring. And a smile. Thank you.
Okay, could I just suggest something? I really like the fact that you just put down these ideas. But in my view, before we just do that, I think it's going to be important if we were to add another suggestion. Think of a problematic issue and then start doing this, because really I believe that innovation and creativity should have their basis on a problematic situation or issue. This will just be more productive in a sense. I believe that's not just really allowing, just put innovative practice where for what. So that's a good suggestion to help people really moving into these questions.
Shall I add something to that? I always like something that comes to my mind. I believe that when we start with something like cloud, which is a very broad idea, cloud in education, Of course, it is important to see the differences, because with the differences we change. And if you find out the difficulties, not differences, if we find out the difficulties and we are ready, and the problematic issues, and we are ready, then in a better way we are going to persuade other people to follow the path that each and every of us has, let's say, designed. Because the problematic, after 10 years that we have been doing all these things here in the school, we have seen a lot of problematic areas. But this helped us, number one, to be well prepared for the people whom we train afterwards. So, for example, when you have, let's say, a lesson with Skype, that's why I talked about Skype. The very first day that we have done a Skype in the classroom, it was, and I admit that, really a mess. Because number one, I didn't know that you had to talk louder. The students didn't know that they had to be silent. So I kept a track of different things, different problems that we had to face. And the second time, things were much better. The second time I realized that I had to make a plan as well. A plan of the whole session. So the third time, this one much better. That's why I totally agree with that aspect.
Can I add something to both your thinking? It doesn't have to be problematic. It has to be challenging. That's the other looking
Challenge,
at it
yes.
the other way around. It's not a problem. It's not a fault.
It's better.
It's
Challenging.
challenging.
When
you
they
talk
say-
about that, you talk about Skype and you talk about content, because that's what you talk about. Education has to do with content. I mean, all we do here is connected to geography, biology, languages. So when you said Skype, my next question is, what was the content?
The content.
Yes.
Good. That was the lesson of the third lesson. The content of a Skype is what? Is to promote the idea of that there are no cultural barriers. Because at the beginning, somebody said, you want to say something?
No.
But okay, because at the beginning somebody said, well, Skype is like, talking to other people and you are not going to have a result. Each one of these innovative practices should have a result at the end. We should not use the tool just for the sake of it. And that was the first mistake I have done throughout these years. That if you ask me, I know more than 100 tools, cloud tools. But then I was very eager to use them all. But the second time I realized that there were not all these tools for Greek students, number one, for students of the private school, or for Greek students of a private school ages 11 to 13. That's why after that we had to concentrate on the content, on the result of that. What would be the best thing for them? How would they improve? What I said, how would they improve, number one, their language, number one, their knowledge. After that, the students wanted to write stories from me. They have seen, I remember the very first day that we've been to Pakistan. We have been to Pakistan. Here in Greece, many people believe that people who come from Pakistan are very poor. And it is true, because you see them on the street. And we've been to a school in Pakistan where I will never forget that, where all the students were dressed in their traditional costumes. They had that, how would I say it, that very nice behavior, and they wanted to share things about their food, about their culture. And my students told me, Miss, we didn't know that. And suddenly their idea about these people changed. That was the content from this lesson.
And this is a very old-fashioned question, but in what subject of the schedule was it programmed? Because you're an English teacher of English language.
Yes, I'm a teacher of English language.
So when you had this Skype lesson, just an hour ago was in an English lesson.
It was in English, yes, it was in
But
English.
what was the purpose? To learn English? Or
The purpose was we had a lesson on different cultures. The unit was about different cultures.
in the English lesson?
And it started, the title was One Man's Meat was Another Man's Poison. So that means
okay, yes.
that what
Meat
I
is
believe
Yes.
that is nice, probably in another culture that would be different. So I wanted to show them that we need to form bridges in different countries, not have barriers.
And you connected to another classroom somewhere else? You
Yes,
just typed
yes.
in? Okay.
In Pakistan, this year we connected to a classroom in Pakistan, India, Poland. What was the next one? In US with the university, and the last one was we have a connection with. I'll tell the story. I love diving. I'm a diver.
Oh.
So
Makes sense in Greece. Makes sense.
I'm a diver many years now. So we have got friends from other countries, and one of them is the grandson of Cousteau, and who's making a project, yes, about biomarine life in California, and I stopped with that. So we connected with him, and he was on a submarine, and the students were thrilled.
Okay.
Perfect. Sorry for the long interruption, but I think you saw.
Continue. No, it's
And now we have
perfect.
1.5 hour left. Half an hour left.
Yeah, okay, I would really like something to add another dimension to what you have just said. I mean, starting from what you are planning to do as a teacher, sometimes you get quite a lot of innovative approaches. For example, if I were an IT teacher like Yannis, and I wanted to present virtual reality. So how can how can I present an innovative approach or idea in order to present that? And personally, there are some philologists around, and we could really start from Plato's the myth of the allegories. I don't know if you know about that. And just, okay, I'm not going to just talk about these myths. I mean, just to explain these things, just to present them an action using the theater of shadows. So really, what they are going to get is just starting to realize what this whole idea is about. We don't have here somebody from the Czech Republic, but I think that one of the things that when you go there is just this black theater, isn't it? You know better than I do. So really these ideas can be behind the whole process of presenting such ideas.
I mean images.
Yeah,
Yes. But you started, how do I pick up an innovative idea? Well, you have to see it, have to experience it, hands-on, and then just go for it.
Yes.
Yes, I mean that I agree with VR is an innovative practice, not technology. So you, for example, you can do an escape room with VR about anything. This is the innovative practice, how the things that have any finality, any use, you do the educative practice or the new practice.
I mean, it should have a meaning, it should have content, it should be incorporated in the curriculum, for instance. That's what you mean?
No.
What about the escape room? What are you saying about an escape room? When
Yes,
you go
because
into
Yes. We do a lot of escape room with co-spaces and VR and reality and everything. Students make by teams the rules, the idea, they study history, the communication, then they code in the spaces and they see and maybe they sharing with another courses and other skills. So for me, this is the innovative practice, how so many things that are existing, you do another use for them and with new uses. And also maybe in Catalonia, also in Spain and a lot of countries, we have a new pedagogical model. We work by projects, not by subjects.
Yeah.
So the subject is not a problem.
And these escape rooms are designed by students.
Yeah.
They develop the virtual reality escape room.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, continue. You
Yes.
have some good practice, for example, a School of the Cloud, no? Project I made the introduction and implementation of a cloud computing in education. A rural school cloud is the project that improves the quality of learning and teaching in a cloud computing, European ICT. And for another good practice is Educa Madrid for Spain. It's the educational technology platform of the Communication Madrid to provide the teachers, students, families and schools, educational tools, resources and virtual scenery and a school 300. Well, you know that is how can you help your institution to be an innovation and creative? And do you envision an innovative practice based on the cloud education developed in your institution?